What up, MMA fans? Ryan the Mighty Quinn here, the cornerman underscore MMA. UFC London done this weekend. Great night of fights. They always deliver when they're out there. Love the early afternoon stuff. Wanted to focus on Tom Aspinall, not just on the big knockout. I think it was like 31 seconds over Marcin Tybura. But I just want to talk about him and why he is the future of the heavyweight division. There's no doubt in my mind that guy is going to hold a belt, going to hold the UFC heavyweight championship. I don't even want to get into the whole what it's going to be against John Jones thing, whatever. Honestly, I don't even think John Jones thinks about Tom Aspinall. I think that John Jones focuses on John Jones and the fight ahead of him. That's just what I think. But we're not even talking about that matchup. We're talking about the tools that this man has that you may notice, you may not notice, that those of us in the MMA community, like, we think are great. Now, a good example of what he's not, like, I know Paddy Pimblett on the rise. Fans are behind him, very charismatic. At the end of the day, we don't think he's that great of a fighter in the MMA community. He's very good, but he's not what Tom Aspinall is. He has a lot of holes, Paddy Pimblett. Tom Aspinall, on the other hand, is the real deal. He's the future of the sport. And I just want to talk about things that I've noticed that he does that not a lot of other people do. So let's work from the ground up. We really haven't seen his ground, which is amazing because that's what he's known for. He's been doing jiu-jitsu since he was 7 years old, then Brazilian jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts. And all we see is his wrestling, offensive wrestling, defensive wrestling, and his boxing, or his striking. I shouldn't even just say his boxing. Now, his wrestling, and I don't want to talk too much about athleticism yet. I want to talk about that later, but his level change is fantastic. And technically level change is also for striking, but I think level change is wrestling because he mixes it up to where his wrestling opens up striking. It's awesome to watch. Up and down, up and down. He doesn't reach. He doesn't bend at his back. He keeps his legs underneath him when he's transitioning into the wrestling takedowns or trying to hand fight. He keeps his feet with him, which is fantastic to watch. And his boxing, his striking overall, but his boxing is fantastic. Go back and watch the Tybura fight. One thing he did that was awesome was he was moving forward, being aggressive, and then mid-exchange, he changed into counter-striking, counter-aggressive. And that's what opened up the right hand that led to the knockout. It was awesome to watch. Not even like weights or middleweights. You really don't see that a lot in MMA as a whole. To be able to create the angles that he has, both with the striking as well as his footwork, and on top of that, just being able to switch mid-motion. Oh, I got to take a step back to counter strike here. It's awesome. That's something I was not very good at, and it's something that a lot of mixed martial arts aren't very good at, let alone grappling-based heavyweights. He's so much fun to watch. And the way he moves, now we're going to segue into the athleticism a little bit. So the way he moves is like he moves like he's like a middleweight, like, or a light heavyweight. Just his in and out, his up and down. He's able to control the center of the cage. He feints, which I tell a lot of mixed martial artists don't do. I'm so big on that here. He's got great feints. His footwork to his kicks. Like, the guy's just got it all. He's just got so many weapons, so many things you got to worry about. And he knows when and when not to use it. The fight IQ is a big deal, which is this is why we don't see a lot of his ground game, I think, because, well, obviously the fight starts standing, but he knows not to force it to his comfort zone. He's so good at being, okay, this is where the fight is. This is where the winning is happening. I'm going to stick to scoring in this situation. He's not trying to force, like, I remember early on, Greg Jackson said about John Jones, the trick with John is he could do everything, but it's when not to use it. I think Tom Aspinall intelligence where he knows when and when not to use certain things, certain aspects. When something's not working or not going to work, he's not going to it. He's going to establish that jab. He's going to switch to the counter striking to open up the big right hand like we saw on Saturday night. Things like that. So when you have the well-rounded fighter and you have the amazing fight IQ and you have the athleticism for the heavyweight division, it's a recipe for success. I can't really think of anyone else. His name is slipping me, the Russian fighter. American top team. Very good, very heavy-handed. I think he's going to have some struggles with Aspinall's athleticism if he can't establish a power striking zone. But when you have all those weapons and he's so far ahead of most everybody else in the division, I can't see him not holding. And plus, on top of that, he's 30 years old, especially for heavyweights. That's pretty young. He's starting to hit his prime, so he's going to establish for a while. Whether he's going to run into John Jones, I don't know. I personally, I don't think so. I think that John's going to be done after the Stipe fight, or at least take a hiatus. But this man will have gold around his waist. Love watching it. I hope to see his ground game soon in MMA. I hope to see what that looks like if it's slick. I would imagine he has more of a power ground game, but who's to say that though? Because he's so athletic. Maybe he does. Maybe he is pretty slick with the scrambles. But no, he's such a fun fighter to watch. I always tell all my friends that are casual MMA fans, I don't care if this is not a title fight or a big name, you got to watch this guy fight. I've told everybody on Saturday, you got to watch Tom Aspinall fight. He's so much fun to watch. He's just got it all. And next time you watch him, really watch his footwork. Watch how he's not standing in front of people. He's not doing the traditional just stalk him down with the heavyweight. He's feinting, he's moving, he's feinting, he's throwing a right hand. If it's not there, he's throwing a kick low. He's coming back up. The way he mixed it up, and then he knows to get you, his cage control, which is obviously a part of wrestling. He just he does it all. He does it all, man. The one loss to Chris Blades. What are you gonna do? Injuries happen. He clearly bounced back from that, so he's clearly a superior athlete when it comes to that aspect. Anyway, that's what I got, guys. UFC 291 this weekend. We'll be talking a lot more about that later. Check out my fight looks for both Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, as well as Alex Pereira and Jan Blachowicz. Talk to you later. Bye.